I'm just going to invite Mr. Motivator to our conversation today. I'm just so excited. So, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Overworked, underpaid, the usual story, you know how it is.
I know you've been working really hard.
Oh, just got so many things going on at the moment. It's just,
Have you?
it's crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to sort this thing out to make sure it stands up right. Because
Yes.
otherwise, there you go. You can see my face now.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And I can see all your lovely lycra in the back as well.
Well, lots of bright colours. You know, let me cover up that. There you go.
It's
Colours are
looking
really
good.
important. Hey?
It's looking good.
There you go.
I was trying to find something really bright and, back in the 80s, I used to have all these colours, and now I'm kind of thinking my wardrobe needs to spruce up. I got
No,
this.
yeah, I think colours are really important because they can lift your spirit and make you feel good. That's why I really wear anything dark, although this is a little bit dark, but it's
Oh,
all with bright colours. I mean, that's the way to go, isn't it?
well,
We
that's your
we
your
met, didn't we?
trademark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
your
I suppose so, yeah.
trademark is bright, colourful,
Yeah,
fun.
always has been. And I think if I'd gone on television and I'd gone on in black shorts and a white top, I don't think no one would be talking to me now. So I think it's all part of the image, and I think we learn so much really by what other people have done. And I remember when I was trying to evaluate what I should wear, I looked at what other people had worn and I thought, well, I can't go there. And I will always remember the one thing you remembered about Diana Moran was the Green Goddess, and
Yes,
the green was a significant color for her. And I thought, you know what, with all the marketing experience I gained from working for various different companies, how you market yourself is really important.
it is. It is, definitely, because it kind of shows a little bit about you as well, I suppose.
Well, yeah, but also sometimes I think what we do is we kind of suppress ourselves often because we try to conform, and so they,
Mm.
like you go along to a black tie do and everyone thinks they've got to wear a black jacket and a white, and that's not me. I always think you should wear what makes you feel good rather than necessarily conforming. Yes, all right, I won't wear lycra to get my MBE, but I will wear bright colors.
So if you went to a dinner function, what would you wear? And everyone's in black and white, what would you wear?
Probably one of these amazing jackets. Probably one of these amazing jackets, because I hate the fact that
Let's have a look.
people always look like
Oh, yes.
you see one of these
Wow.
jackets. Yeah, and they've all been specially made.
Who makes
Um,
them for you?
well, lately now it's been done by Wild Legs, but in the old days it was I had lots of other people who were willing to make things up for me, and so you had colours like these, and they're
Yes.
amazing. They're amazing. And the thing is, I'll tell you something. I'll always remember going to a function. It was an award ceremony, and I wore this Beaver Book jacket. And
Wow, look at that.
this jacket is about, oh Lord, about 28 years old. This jacket, and I mean it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And when I went and I wore that, and every single photographer wanted to take pictures of it, right?
Yeah.
And then another time I wore I got a kilt. I got the full regalia kilt. And so another time I wore that, and every picture everyone wanted. See, there's my kilt,
Look
there's the
at that.
jacket and everything, right?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's and I think that's what I say. Just try and
Mm.
be different. Try and be yourself. Really, you don't necessarily have to conform. Yes, you have to obey the laws of the land, but I
Yeah.
think you should let your natural, let you come out. Let people see the real you. Rather than hiding
Yeah.
behind a bushel, be yourself. And I think people will like you for that. They will like the fact that they're seeing the real you. Whereas I think a lot of people in the world of television and stuff, they are so pretentious. They forget
Mm.
that they go to the bathroom the same as you and I, and they
Yeah.
go to the toilet the same as you and I, and do their business, right? They forget,
Kind of
and
an image I don't really want to think about, but I get what you mean.
yeah.
But do you think
I saw
young
Liz
people?
just reckons that's why she wears fluffy boots.
Oh, yes. I love her
You,
fluffy boots.
she's been wearing those fluffy boots for I don't know how long, right? I mean, honestly, I'll always remember the first time she appeared on stage with me, which was literally about I think it's 7, 8 years ago, and it was at a music festival called Why Not,
Yeah.
and she wore that, right. And honestly, I mean, it was just brought the house down, and she was wearing a great big hat on her head. And I think that's exactly what I'm saying.
Mm.
Do it. I think when it comes to like what you do, which is you do a lot of yoga, don't you?
I do, but I have a lot of fun. I do a lot of dancing as well. But yeah,
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 yeah.
a lot
But
of yoga. It's the same sort of thing. It's encouraging people to just explore who they really are and to love themselves, and be happy with who they are and what they offer the world. So
yeah, yeah,
similar to you, really. And I know that you've got a motto which is movement is medicine, and I think that's so true. I use that one as well. I
yeah.
try and get people to, when we met at Yoga Fit retreats, which was really fantastic, and did that impromptu kind of uh,
Class.
class, yeah, and we all got on the stage and everyone had a lot of fun, and it was
Yeah.
that feeling of just being free.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it is. I mean, I take, movement. I've now added in laughter, and movement is
yeah,
medicine. And I think, that's something that we don't do enough of.
yeah,
We don't, most people are not moving their body enough. They're not looking after themselves. They're not recognizing that, look, as we get older, our independence is critical. So therefore, movement is important now whilst you're able. Yoga is a great discipline, right? And a lot
yeah,
of people looking on may think that's not for me, but until you've tried it, then
yeah,
you just will not know what it's like. I'm into far more aggressive form of exercise, if you wish, and although I do a lot of dance as well, but in many ways, for
yeah.
me, it's as long as I see people moving, that's what keeps me happy, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a step in, isn't it? Just inviting people to just try something new,
Yeah,
and see if it fits. And yeah, that's exactly what you do, which is really wonderful.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's a tough old world. For some people, it's a bit harder than others to
Mm,
navigate. And you're doing this amazing charity, which I completely connected with. So
yeah.
tell me about what this charity is, how it started.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always had a charity of my own. I always had one called Miss Motivator's Charitable Trust, and the idea was to use what I do by way of exercise to raise funds, but mainly for homeless people at the time. And so what we used to do is every October, we'd get requests coming in from these small charities who don't get a look in because they're not big, they're not multinational, and we'd make donations to them. It could be £1,000 here, £2,000 here. And then about 2.5 years ago, I did a series with the BBC which looked at bed poverty. And at the time, I didn't know what bed poverty was all about.
Yeah,
And so my drive was to really try and get people to, understand what bed poverty is about. And after I did the show, I learned so much from it. I mean, I remember interviewing a family where there was a 15-year-old child who had been sleeping on a beanbag in the corner of the room for the past 3 years. And that
wow.
really kind of moved me, and it made me stand up and take notice because it replicated exactly the kind of life I'd had. I was homeless. I didn't have a bed to sleep in. I had my daughter I was looking after, and so I've set up Mr. Motivator's Bed Bank. And
Yeah,
the idea is to create awareness of what that problem, so everybody in future knows what bed poverty is all about, but also to get donations. And when we get those donations in, we then partner with charities who are in that space who can
yeah,
ensure that beds go to the people who need it. So that's something that I've been doing, and we launched it about 8 weeks ago. And we launched it with a film that was put together by an amazing advertising agency called Leo
yeah,
Burnett. They managed to get about £750,000 worth of pro bono free time from directors, producers, and put this amazing film together. So if you go on site on the line now and have a look at it, you'll see that 3-minute film, which recently has just been shown all over the Odeon cinemas around the country. So it's really gaining traction. We've had a lot of interest. I've done interviews with all kinds of different newspapers and magazines and stuff to highlight what bed poverty is all about. So anyone listening now, watching now, if you
yeah,
just go on to Mr. Motivator's Bed Bank, if you want to make a donation, nothing's too small, please do,
yeah,
right? And that way we can keep the whole mission alive. But there is a petition that I want as many people to sign because I want government. So instead of dealing with having a general umbrella called poverty, what we do is we break out bed bank and have that as a separate category Because when you say poverty, often people, if you ask them at home what they want, they'll go, I want the white goods, I want the
Yes.
fridge, the freezer. The bed comes last. I want bed to be
Mm.
right at the top, because the thing is, there's so many people, right, who are in this position who don't have a bed to sleep in, and children don't have a bed to sleep in.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've put a link, by the way, to anyone watching at the bottom to Mr. Motivator's bed bank, so you can just
Thank
click
you.
that and it'll go straight to your charity.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, goodness, I've got two boys, and I realised that it's not anything to do with parenting. You know, it could just be circumstance for some of these people, so they don't have the
Yeah.
facility for the bed. So yeah, that's amazing.
And
The thought of my boys sleeping on the floor is, you know,
yeah.
it's really upsetting to think that there are children doing that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they are, and it's more than that. You know, you'll have whole families where they're sleeping on a mattress on the floor, head to toe, and this
yeah,
is going on in our country now. The thing is, we are all moved by images. You know,
yeah,
if you can, if you just print out the words, "A billion kids tonight go to sleep without a bed," initially it may hit you, but tomorrow you'll forget. Whereas if
right,
you put an image out there of someone who's not sleeping in their bed, who's tired, who's not really being sociable, who's not really developing quite right because they're not getting a good night's sleep, that resonates with people. It's why, you know, when you see these charity films on television, like you see a donkey that's suffering, automatically the whole load of money coming in because the image is so striking. So
yeah,
what I'm trying to do is to create that image in people's brain. So yes, help people abroad, but you know, at home, there's the problem, and the person could be living right next door to you.
yeah,
And don't forget, people are proud, and so often they won't want to say, you know, that they're having that kind of problem. They won't want to say,
mm,
look, you know, it's
mm.
you know, at home we don't have a bed, because we're a proud nation.
Yeah. That reaching out, it's a funny old thing, isn't it? Yeah, uh, you don't want to appear like you're, you know, there's a kind of shame around it, which is bizarre. Reaching out and asking for help is a kind of really strange thing. Is it a British thing, or is it just, does everyone feel that way?
I think we all, you know, we all find it difficult to
Yeah,
ask for help, right? And but I think, you know, something, if we give, you're going to get the help coming back without you asking, because they say that kindness is one thing you can't give away; it'll come back to you tenfold.
yeah,
And so it's really important that what happens is that we look after each other, and then in turn we'll get looked after without people having to say, "Do you need the following?" They've got to know. I think we've become a nation of not being very sociable, and
yeah,
depending where you live, you know, people don't talk to one another. I was on the underground. I was in London on Tuesday, and everybody who sat on my left, I spoke to them.
yeah.
Everybody. Right. And one lady was a publisher, and she told me she published Tom Kerridge's book. Another
Wow.
lady was just really, and so it went on, right? And and if you look down the carriageway, everybody was on their phone. No one was speaking. There was not the
Yeah,
sound of anybody talking. And that really kind of bugs me, because we've got to be careful that we don't let AI dominate our world to the point where
mm,
we stop being careful, we stop caring about people, we stop understanding, stop feeling, right?
yeah,
And I think feeling is really important, right? I mean,
yeah,
you know, I've said this many times. Maya Angelou said, people may forget what you did, what you said, but they never forget how you make them feel. And that feeling is something we must hold on to. You know, that's
yeah.
what it's all about.
Well, that's the kind of my work. You know, my world is about the sensory system and inviting people to feel in their bodies rather than be in their heads. So I work a lot with people with really chronic mental health conditions, and a lot of it is isolation.
Yeah.
And as soon as they start to feel that they can express themselves again, they'll start talking and becoming part of a group again and connecting, and then finding the joy in connecting and having conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I think that's why we've got to encourage, when it comes to exercise, group
yeah,
exercises, because, you know, every single qualified fitness trainer out there, they're all going down this kind of personal training route. They're
yeah,
going down the app route and all those things they're putting together. And so what you're losing is that community feel with classes. And I really am one for saying, well, look, we need to bring back exercise to music. We need to bring back that going down to the church hall, and that's important, and in particular for older people, because I call it the older person's talk.
Yeah.
Every single older couple should be talking about what happens when one of us disappear. What happens when one of us is no longer around? How did we do? What did we do? And that's why from now, each person, male, female, they should be developing their kind of outside interest, which gives them a support mechanism for the day when Mother Nature says, I want to take one of you out of the picture. And so
Mm.
so for me, exercise to music classes is what it's all about. Or your yoga classes where people will
Yeah.
meet, and have a cup of tea afterwards. We've got to really bring all that back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have this world which lives in this box,
Yes.
right? And you'll say to someone, how many friends have you got? And they'll go, oh, I've got thousands and thousands. But how many friends have you really got?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. Oh, I've got
Yeah,
this many friends, but in
yeah,
real life, what's really going on? Well, talking of community, I looked on your website for ideas. So if anyone watching here is thinking of ideas on how to, create a fundraiser,
yeah,
I looked on your website and there's some really fab ideas, and two stood out for me.
yeah.
The first, obviously, was creating an event. So I've got a little community of yogis, and I call them my warriors.
Yes,
And we meet a few times a week. But my Wednesday Warriors is a community that's been going for about 25 years. It's a really strong community, and we love raising money every summer for
yes.
a cause. And we saw when I saw you in Ibiza, I was thinking, yes, 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 this connects with my mummies and my daddies that I work with.
Mhm.
And so we decided, yes, we'd love to support. So
Thank you.
we've got that on Wednesday, the 10th of June. So if anyone here is in North London, please come and
Brilliant.
join me. Or you
Brilliant.
can just donate. You can just go on my website, kathyunderwoodyoga.com, and you just donate. There's a donation button, and you can scale it so you can donate whatever you like. You don't have to come to the class. Just donate to the
Thank
class,
you.
and all
Thank you.
of that profit is going to go to Bedbank.
Thank you.
Or there's a little link here that you can click on, and it goes directly to Mr. Motivator's website.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I thought was really fun was to give everyone the option of wearing pajamas. Pajamas or really, really bright clothing.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
know.
I think my Tuesday tribe, it's a smaller group. So we're all going to wear our pajamas to yoga and
Oh,
see what
brilliant,
happens there. And
brilliant.
then on Wednesday, who knows? People might turn up in all sorts of things, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It brings community together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And you're doing something. Sometimes you feel helpless that you can't help. It's just too overwhelming. But if you go to a fundraiser, it's a great feeling of being part of something,
Yeah,
having a bit of fun, nice music, nice drink, nice exercise, and then you leave like I don't know, it's a little bit more than just donating to a cause. There's
yeah.
something that you're
Well,
involved in. It's lovely.
well,
So
I think with everything we do, right? Isn't it great that you're doing something which benefits you but benefits other people at the same
yeah,
time? And that's why,
yeah,
to me, the best kind of fundraising is where you're actually physically doing something where you go, "Wow, that felt so good." But at the
yes,
end of the day, the real payoff is that other people are benefiting from it.
yeah,
It's I think it's so important that what happens is that we forge these kind of relationships of sharing, and I'm all into that at the moment, right? And that's why my motivators is so important. And my motivators, I mean, Lish is who is on here at the moment. She looks after them, and she decides who's going to go to which festival we're doing, and stuff like that. And it's all part of what we try to give, is which is fun and laughter and everything else. And it's been an amazing journey, and I'm having the time of my life. And so for me, giving back in any way is really important. That's why my charity, our focus is that 80% of the funds that come in will go to where it's needed.
yeah,
There are too many charities out there where it's the other way around. 80% goes to running
mm,
their wonderful head office, and only 20% go to good causes. We are going to make sure that it goes to in fact, all the charities we marry with, they have to write to us and confirm how many beds were they able to buy with the donations we have given, because we
Oh,
don't want them using the money for head office. We don't want them using the money for someone's lunch. It's got to go to where it's needed. And we run everything from a little office in the garden of my home, right? And that's where we do it. And, we have an amazing lady called Amelia. Then we got another, my PA is called Emma, and she's just great. She's got her hands on. And then we got Abigail, who works in the office. And they all donate a certain amount of the week towards running the charity. And we've just got a new board of trustees. And so we're going places with it. And so everything that anyone does for us is really useful, because honestly, at the end of it, it's going to make you do your heart good. You're going to feel good about it.
absolutely. There's karma and dharma. You have a purpose. You got to share it with the world.
Yeah, yeah, you
And
have
what
to.
you give out, it comes back. Yeah,
You have to.
definitely believe
I
that.
will mention on the next live I do, right, to my guys, right, especially on TikTok, where we have a huge following. I'll mention what you're doing next week. So
Oh,
I'll get
thank
the
you.
office to get me. You've given the office the details, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll,
I'll be
we'll,
sure I
we'll
give them all the details again.
yeah, please,
But
please,
thank
because what
you.
I'll do is we got to, and it's happening next week. When? Remind me.
It's on the 10th of June,
Okay.
which is next Wednesday.
Yes.
The class is actually 7 till 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
I've got so many of my beautiful ladies and gentlemen who have donated to the charity.
Good.
So we've got a little charity, the raffle. So we've got a
Yes.
little raffle as well. And people are welcome to come. We're going to do a bit of
Sure.
dancing. We're going to
Sure.
do a bit of yoga. And we're going to have nibbles and chat
Brilliant. Brilliant.
afterwards and a raffle. And if you can't come, they can still buy a class. And there's a
Right.
kind of sliding scale price. So you
Brilliant.
can choose
Brilliant.
what you donate.
Thank you so much for that. I think what's important is that you save this Instagram and put it out later on, because
Yes.
don't forget, lots of people maybe at work or whatever it is, they didn't know it
Yeah.
was going to happen really because we didn't promote it well. So therefore, I think it's worth saving and putting it out different times, right? So it's there.
Yeah.
But we'll do what we can. I've got about 2 or 3 more lives between now and next Wednesday, so I'll make sure that we mention it to everybody. And if people are in London, they can come along to it. Yeah,
Ah, thank you so much, Derek.
my
Thank you
pleasure.
so much, and to Lish as well, because I know she's watching, and all
Yeah,
your
she
team.
bullies me, by the way. She bullies me all the while. She bullies me into doing. That's what she does, right? She has a way of, you know, don't you think
Yeah.
you should do this, or that's a good idea to do this. Very
Oh, bless
sneaky.
her.
But I
Bless
tell you
her.
what, if anyone's looking for a good personal trainer, there's Lish, and she runs these
Yes.
courses as well on here, which is really great. There's a person who, you know what it's like. It
Yeah.
comes from here, what she does. And the result is, right, everybody is like a magnet towards it. They get drawn in, right? And that is something should be applauded, because when you find someone in the fitness industry who love what they do, who want to see people moving, want to see people happy, you've got to applaud them and say, and congratulations to you, because you're doing your thing.
Thank you very much. I totally agree. There are people who just have this special gift of drawing people
Yeah,
in and inspiring them to do things. And
yeah,
yeah, I felt that with Lish too. She's a beautiful, beautiful
yeah,
woman, and yeah, she's got
yeah.
this vibrant energy.
Yeah. And she's hounded me for 15 years, right? She wrote, you know
15.
the
Oh,
story. She
wow, really?
wrote to me at GMTV, and out of the thousands of, because we used to have 2 or 3 people handling the amount of mail that was coming in each week, and somehow her letter came to the top and responded, and I went to do a surprise with her. I arranged it with her mother, because I think it was 16 at the time, and arranged with her mother, and then did a surprise, and then she said what she wanted to be, and she didn't listen to any of my advice, because I told her to go and study to become a, physiotherapist.
Oh,
She
yeah.
decided, but instead she decided to become a fitness teacher, and here she is, days, decades later.
Well, I think it's the best job. I started off as a fitness instructor and dance instructor, and now I'm just moving in, into all sorts of different places.
Brilliant,
But yeah, it's the best job ever. I recommend
brilliant,
everyone, if you've
brilliant.
got that
Yeah.
spark, you should be out there doing it.
Yeah, we must listen. I don't know how, this is just a general conversation. I don't know how big your hall is, but we, and Lish would talk to you about it, because we're
Yeah.
doing this thing called a motivation experience,
Oh,
which is
yes.
which is like a 1-day event with lots of teachers actually teaching various things. And I'm sure if you have London is a venue we've not been to as yet, But if we had a venue big enough, right, that can hold, say, 400, 300, 400 people, we'd love to actually arrange one with you. And why not?
Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
come on, let's do
Uh,
it.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Good.
up for a challenge.
If she's still on here, right, we'll get her onto it. But I think we should
Okay.
definitely do it in London. And it's
Yeah.
just a day with lots of different teaching, and
Wow.
it's fun. And at the end of the day, they'll leave feeling that they've tasted lots of different classes, which actually will, help them to actually make a decision about what they take up for the future.
That
Yeah.
would be lovely. And
Okay.
yeah, yes.
All right.
Let's just say yes.
Okay. Brilliant. All right. Which part of London are you? Are you North London,
I'm
South
North
London?
London. Yeah, I'm in Enfield.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, that's easy because I know Enfield. I used to also live over in more northwest, heading around towards Hendon and Mill Hill and those kind of
Yes.
places. Yeah.
Yes. No, we'd love it. We'd love it
Okay.
up here.
Good.
We've got
Good.
Tottenham, Edmonton,
Yeah.
Enfield. Yeah, we'd
We'll
love that.
organize it. I'll speak to her about it and get her to make contact with you, and we'll do it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I wish you well. All right.
Thank
I hope
you.
that was good. Thank you so much for
Oh,
inviting me on.
it's so lovely and it's so warm and lovely to see you,
It's a
Derek.
great
And
chat. Great
I
chat.
hope our paths cross again
Oh,
soon.
they're bound to. They're bound to. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
I wish you well.
Wish
To
you
everyone
well.
listening,
Take
all the
care.
very best. Cheers.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.